definitely, look great hung from a hearty group of people out. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in.
It was great.
Yeah. There you go.
Are you seeing it?
Okay.
I'm able to.
Oh,
The
hey.
person harassing you being email.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, let me tell you, people harass me much more than that. That was just simple asking. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So you're looking for
Location.
is this for,
Reception. Yeah.
yeah, oh, for, it would have to be, congratulations.
No, it's brother going on.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great.
Really cool.
Well, typically, we don't have as much sitting around, so that's not like fun. We get a lot of art happen.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. Thanks for coming in. You're coming to art. Maybe it's Sang Till Week. Yeah, Sang in. Sang Till 3 and then Sang and then Till and then L-E. Okay, cool. But yet, please give me a mind when you talk to me more about it. Just give me a ring when you talk about it. The price and the dimensions for that one is right on the edge of the, yeah, that looks like that. Cool.
Thanks, Dan.
You got it. All right, good luck with everything. Bye. Are you discussing the whole tag versus checklist controversy?
Yeah.
How do you guys do it typically?
We do both.
Yeah.
I mean, when we have in the main galleries, we do pins in the wall
Mhm.
because constantly changing.
Yeah.
But sometimes we have in other sort of more permanent areas of the gallery, we do the tags because it may be up for a week, it could
Yeah.
be up for 2 months,
Yeah.
or 6 months.
Yeah, I know. Sadly, yes. Yeah. No, I know. I used to really prefer tags next to the pieces because I felt like I wanted to make the information that the artist was providing about the piece, whether it was the medium or especially titles were fairly important to the artist's work. I wanted to make it as easy for the viewer as possible to reference that and look at the piece and not have to go, do I need a checklist? Where's that? Blah, 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 But I don't know. I don't know if it's just buckling convention or am I changing tastes. But I sometimes, and especially when I started painting some walls, the tags really kind of were like, and I really liked it to just have the subtle little number there. And I found that a lot of people didn't care that much. The people who wanted to know the information immediately would be asking me for a list, and the people who didn't care. So I think that I started looking for, we don't have like the kind of square white box, completely minimalist gallery. It's like it's an old building, it's got character, it's got tin ceilings and all this. So I felt like I wanted to keep it as clean as possible because you're never going to have the perfect minimalist white box atmosphere in a gallery like this. So I felt like, well, at least I can kind of trim the fat on the walls and just keep it as, but I change every year. I start doing something different. So. And I used to put tags up in the back room where we have a lot of examples of different artists that we show, and that's where I found that I was rotating it so much. We often sell work out of the back room, and then I'd be putting up a new piece, and tags would be old. Somebody'd say, "Is this Larry? What's it?" And I'd be like, "Oh no, that's from an earlier painting that I had hanging there 10 minutes ago. Forget it." So now I just I actually prefer people asking me anyway, because it engages me in a conversation with them about the art, and and I think people often feel, unless they're really used to coming to galleries all the time, they often feel kind of reserved like whispering when they walk in here, like it's some kind of museum, and an alarm is going to go off if their voice gets too loud, and so they don't, you know, if they do have a question, often even when I ask me questions, they often, you know, flow. So anything that can help generate a conversation, I think, is a valid thing to do. Anyway, you're at Gwenda J. Addington Gallery, and this is you're at the tail end of a show by Jane Rosen, who's a California artist who originally got her start, her career in New York, and in the 80s moved out to California. She'd been doing the urban New York artist experience and having a lot of success, showing in some of the largest galleries in Soho at the time, and she kind of just ditched it all and said, I'm kind of tired of this urban, you know, experience. I just want to breathe some fresh air. And so she moved just to the other coast, went out to California, bought 40 acres with the proceeds of her paintings over the last, her sales over the last few years, and got a fairly reasonable deal and built a little house and then a studio, and over time a larger house, and she's still on that land. And over the course of the last 15, 20 years, she started to develop a real love and appreciation of nature, and especially of animals, and many of which she's raising right there on her ranch, and others, the more wild type, just hang out and wander around. And so everything that you see on the walls, except for the long horizontal amber piece there, is Jane Rosen's. I have that up basically because I was just about 15 minutes ago showing it to somebody in the line. So ignore that piece. There were two other panel pieces like these two up here. We just shipped them out. So the show is supposed to be coming down like this week, but I think I might leave it up for a few more days while we have left. Yeah, so a lot of this work is a response to nature in her environment, and she's become a real animal activist who dedicates a lot of time and money to that cause. And I think that just gives the work a nice kind of ethical underpinning. You know, she's really interested when she paints animals in kind of trying to understand the essence of the animal, and